Thank you, everybody, for being here this evening. We really, really appreciate it. We know all of you have busy jobs. Many of you probably have families at home, and there's a million things that you could be doing. But the fact that you would spend an evening talking about and learning about AI and how the world is changing with us, we don't take for granted. We're very humbled by it. Thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Before we dive in, just a quick bit about me. I consider myself the luckiest guy in the world. I've been married to the same woman for 18 years. We have two wonderful daughters. They're 16 and 13. Everything I do at the end of the day is for them. We're diehard Buffalo Bills fans, in case that wasn't clear from the picture up there. Did I hear it? Did I get a clap from that? Oh, that's from my team, so that doesn't count. But we took off the undefeated Chiefs on Sunday night. I was there for that game. It was awesome. Yes, I did get a woo from somebody. I've also been very lucky in my career. I've always known what I wanted to be when I grew up. I got a TI-99 that my uncle gifted me when I was 8 years old, mostly because I wanted to play all the video games that it came with. But in the bottom of the box that he had given me, there was a book with Texas Instruments proprietary programming language and a bunch of programs in it. And I wrote my first computer program when I was 8 years old. Got completely hooked. Very good at math and science growing up. Crappy at everything else, frankly, which I now regret. But studied computer science in college, started my career at Bloomberg, where I spent the first 11 years writing systems for financial professionals and people in the sports industry. I know there's some Bloomberg folks here. Thank you for coming. Before spending a couple years as the CIO at Dow Jones, where we led a pretty big cloud-based transformation, and I got religion on public cloud, which is what led me to AWS, where I spent the last 8 years before I joined Google 2 years ago, leading their enterprise strategy and running their marketplace, before I landed at Google a couple years ago to lead our marketplace and all of our tech partnerships. So companies like Arise and many that I might refer to over the course of the next 10 minutes or so, we manage the partnerships with those teams and make sure that they're not just really well built on Google Cloud, but really well built in order for you to use on our marketplace and to take advantage of as you build your own workloads, AI agents or otherwise, on Google Cloud. And one of the reasons I joined Google is because it became abundantly clear to me that moving to the cloud had become table stakes after 8 years or so at AWS. Every company and government is going to end up moving a material amount of their workloads to the cloud because the value proposition is so great. But now that everybody is going to be doing it, just moving to the cloud is no longer the key difference maker. It's really what you all and what our customers are going to do when they get there that's going to make the difference. And I felt that nobody was better positioned than Google, given some of our strengths in analytics with tools like BigQuery, where we basically reinvented the category, and then specifically nowadays in artificial intelligence, where the people at Google, some of whom you're going to hear from today, wrote the paper, Attention is All You Need, which invented the transformer model back in 2017, and really is pervasive throughout everything that we do at Google. It became very clear to me that we were in the best position to really help customers navigate through this change. And I think there's no better way to demonstrate that than if you look at Gartner's Magic Quadrant over the past couple of years, which had Google still on the top right, but in the bottom left-hand portion of that top right quadrant, really moving up and to the right further and further over the last couple of years. So again, luckiest person alive. I feel very, very lucky to be here helping customers move through that. And one of the things that's fueling our growth and that movement up and to the right is the ubiquity of generative AI and our position here. So if it wasn't already clear to you, we believe that Gen AI is going to transform just about everything. We're seeing huge amounts of budget and focus shift from some of the largest companies and governments in the world to harness generative AI to improve their business. And if you think about a few years ago, machine learning wasn't necessarily new. You'd see a lot of use cases around predictive maintenance and maybe to decide which product might fail on an assembly line or looking for faulty products in a big e-commerce site. But over the last few years, as you see the ubiquity of large language models and generative AI from folks like us, Google, Mistral, Cohere, Anthropic, and others, we're seeing a litany of use cases where customers are now creating or generating lots of content, whether that be code, job descriptions. We work with some HR companies where they're giving their employees tools to create job descriptions or the first beginnings of an employee review, let's say, product descriptions, marketing campaigns, travel itineraries. We're working with a training company who's creating educational lessons and helping folks learn foreign languages by being able to converse with avatars and sort of score the results of that conversation in real-world scenarios like ordering a meal at a restaurant or taking an Uber or talking to a cab driver. But perhaps one of my favorite use cases is we are seeing AI companies also rise up to create dating profiles. For any of you online dating fans out there, I thought that was a sort of clever use case that we're seeing as well. So look, I know it's still a pretty new space, and there's lots of experimentation going on, and there are some who think that it's a bit of a hype cycle that's yet to pay off. But I continue to believe that we're in the dawn of a really new era where we're going to continue to see lots of specialized agents prop up. And if you think about how we think about the world and the technology that we offer to help our customers navigate that this transformation, we're thinking about it and offering services and capabilities at every single layer of the stack to meet any one of our customers where they are, whether it's training and building their own models, building applications on top of it, the tool chain around to support it, supported by an ecosystem that I'll go through in just a moment. But at the lowest level, we have our infrastructure and our chips, some of which we custom create, including the tensor processing unit or TPUs that some of you here may use to maximize the price performance that you get for training workloads. On top of that, we have our model garden, which has over 130 models that customers can choose from, whether it be from Google or from some of our partners. We have a way for customers to build their own models, whether that's to fine-tune their own LLM from the ground up, or to create custom adaptations of existing models by either prompt training it or tweaking it with some of their own data or IP, which can all remain in your VPC or your tenant, where you get to control kind of the security of the data and the keys. Then we have an agent builder to help customers build their own AI agents on top of it, and then a number of more sort of fully managed services that are powered by AI to help our customers transform their contact center, their healthcare systems, and et cetera. And from the very beginning of Google Cloud, we always knew that we were going to need a robust partner ecosystem to help our customers, many of whom are relying on us as consultants as part of a much larger transformation, to meet them with the tools that they're already using. So when we think about our ecosystem, we're 100% committed to delivering the world's most open and innovative ecosystem, again, at every single layer of the stack. So when you think about AI, in addition to our own chips, we've got GPUs and AI toolkit software from folks like NVIDIA, Intel, and AMD. On top of the chips, like I mentioned, we've got over 130 models in our model garden, including some of the most well-known models from folks like Anthropic, Cohere, AI21 Labs, and Mistral. On top of that, JetBrains and GitLab are bundling some of our AI capabilities into their IDEs so that they can meet developers where they are. And we're super excited to be partnering with Jason and Arise as well, who's also building the observability and the monitoring that you need when you're building AI workloads on Google Cloud. MongoDB, Pinecone, Elastic, they're integrating all their database and their search technologies into our stack for customers who want to continue to use those tools. Data providers such as Moody's, LSEG, Dun & Bradstreet are making data available for customers to train and tune their models as well on Google Cloud. And then we have a number of higher-level SaaS applications from folks like Workday, SAP, and Salesforce, who are really weaving some of these AI capabilities into their products to help make them more efficient for customers as well. And we're really seeing the Arise, which is Arise? Oh, that's funny. That's a pun, unintended. A rise in customers creating really specific AI agents for specific use cases. So, for instance, Dialpad. They've created customer service agents that their customers buy in a SaaS model to really help transform their contact center. Workday and UKG, two HR information services companies, and I mentioned some use cases there before, where they're creating agents to help employees in the companies who use their service create job descriptions or employee reviews, or to get started on filling out, let's say, a W-2 or a W-4 form. Replit, GitLab, and Pineclone all have created coding agents that allow companies to write code faster and build Gen AI applications on top of them. Jasper, it's a cool company building creative agents to deliver on-brand and data-optimized marketing assets very quickly. And then you have folks like Palo Alto Networks and Exabeam that are really creating security agents to help those folks who work in a security operations center really find the needle in the haystack and help them narrow in on and focus on where threats are actually real and they should focus their time, just as a couple of examples. And just some quick customer examples just to make this real before I pass it on to our next speaker. Wayfair, you've probably heard of Wayfair, one of the world's largest e-commerce companies. They've been using Gemini Code Assist to not just help all of their developers be productive with more active code complete, but I suspect there's a lot of developers here, right? How many folks are developers here? All right, keep your hand up if you love writing unit tests. Right, all right, one person. I got somebody who loves writing unit tests. Wayfair has been able to automate, I think it's 55%, something like that, half or roughly half of their unit tests. And their code base, which I feel better as a consumer of Wayfair, knowing that they have better test coverage when I'm going to be giving them my hard-earned money on buying things on their site. So I think this is a pretty cool and transformative use case for them. Captioning from Warner Brothers Discovery. Taking a voice model and listening to what's happening on the voice to produce the text on screen. It seems pretty mundane, but that can be a very expensive, costly process. And they've done this with an 80% improved efficiency rate on captions that they want to create for the vast amounts of content that they create. Who owns a car? It's another, let's do a show of hands. How many cars? It's in New York, so maybe there's a little less folks. Of those who own a car, how often have you ever opened up your user manual? I've owned a bunch of cars over my life. I've never opened up the user manual. Volkswagen created their own adaptation of one of our models to allow their customers to basically interact with the user manual of the car specific to them, which of course gets smarter as the customer is asking more and more questions around how do they change the oil or the brake fluid or what have you. You can tell I'm not a car person, but you get the idea. And Snap, who many of you, or at least your teenagers, I can't get my teenagers away from Snap, probably use on a daily basis. And they've infused a bunch of AI capabilities to help drive their engagement up 2.5 times in the USA for their customer base here. But you don't have to take my word for it. I thought I would show you a quick video of Evan, who's the CEO of Snap and a big Google customer, talk a little bit about what they're doing.
Google Cloud has been a partner since day one for Snap, since Bobby and I were working in my dad's house and scaling from the first couple of users, our friends, to now hundreds of millions of people all around the world. My AI is a brilliant best friend, powered by artificial intelligence. It's a chatbot where you can ask general knowledge questions, learn more about the world, and have a fun and friendly conversation. And as we started partnering with Google and experimenting with Gemini's capability, what we found was an unbelievable ability to help people solve their problems based on visual context. My AI is great at answering everyday questions. And now that it's integrated with Gemini, you can just send a snap and ask something like, what's the healthiest snack? Let's see what my AI has to say. It looks like Kind bars are the healthiest option. So by partnering with Google, we can leverage the multimodal capability of Gemini to understand what's going on in a snap, even read the caption and reply. Snap's community is distributed all over the world, and that's one of the reasons why Gemini's multilingual capabilities were so exciting to us. We think that this new partnership with Gemini and My AI allows people to learn so much more about the world and to do it really quickly in the moment. With My AI powered by Gemini, I can easily practice my French. Translate this to French. Gemini's multilingual capabilities make it really easy to translate text and, of course, learn a new language. Ah, parfait. Google Cloud's flexibility and ability to scale with our business has allowed us to focus on what we love to do, which is innovating for our community. With Google Cloud, Snap is building the new way to stay close with friends and family.
Super cool, I thought. I showed my daughter that capability, what's the healthiest snack? And she looked in our cupboard for the healthiest snack and then took the other one. Anyway, your mileage may vary. We're super excited about our partnership with Arise. I think it's a long time coming to have a company with some purpose-built capabilities really try to help customers solve the observability and the monitoring problem. It's a whole new frontier. It's a new set of capabilities. It's a lot of uncharted territory that we're all navigating here together. And Jason and his team have been a great partner for us, really helping customers who are building some of the most sophisticated and transformative AI capabilities on Google Cloud, and doing so in a way where they can feel that they're doing it eyes wide open, where they can quite literally see what it is they're building and how it's performing. So we're super excited by the partnership. Jason, thanks for putting this event on with us today, and hopefully you get a lot more out of the other speakers to come. And again, thank you for being here. We don't take your time for granted. I hope you continue to enjoy the show.